Sure. Yes, I can tell you how to fix that check, but I won't.
I totally do county library board.
I don't know.
I've actually been putting a lot of things on auto deposit now.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Just tell Dean we only trust him to get to the town limit.
I hear ya. I know, Dean.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
For a long time.
For a long time, yeah, me too. 12 years now.
Oh, God. Yeah, easily that or more.
Did you hear from John?
I haven't heard from him.
I saw Corey in town today. Oh,
Corey,
I'm
thank you for Corey.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting for November 12th to order at 7 o'clock. Just a reminder that this is an informal meeting, so we can't take some gallery. First order of business, the call for community interest regarding the agenda. We have it on the camera, but I don't see any reason for anything in there, so.
Any worship?
I would move to accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you. All in favor? It's carried. So we'll get right to it. So we're doing our budget deliberations coming up here. So got some of the delegations here. The first one, Thorsby Historical Society budget presenting funding request. And Marlene, go right ahead. Thank you for coming.
Here's my husband.
Early.
Mayor, officers. No, I'm good. I'm all right. I gave the budget as requested, show our expenses and our income. Our budget for the 25th year, we are hoping to replace that air conditioning unit that is already there. We have looked into an air conditioning unit for doing the main dance area, but it was going to be like opening up a can of worms, and there was no way of closing it, because they would have to do the furnaces, the air ducts, power. If you want to do that, well, you might as well tear that building down and start from scratch, because that's what it was. So for years, that one that was on top worked good or was sufficient. And so we want to update that one because we can't do repairs to that one. So that's why we are hoping that the town will be able to help us out in replacing that unit at $18,000. We are also still in need of 15 for our general utility expenses. So that is basically, I mean, I can tell you what we've all done and what we have been doing and what we're going to be doing, but it's the same story every year. We're repairing, looking after that wall. There's a day coming, and it's going to be quite soon, that you guys will be looking after it again. And I can tell you that you're starting to get worn out, getting older, and as soon as one member leaves, the whole thing goes down. That's what I was told.
All right.
So that's my presentation. I hope you consider it. And I know there's.
Well, thank you, and we may have some questions here.
Sure.
I mean, the whole idea of this is that we will bring this forward to our budget thing, and then we'll make the decision at that time. So I guess I have one question. I think, Corey, you were saying that maybe you could look for some grants for this.
Well, I told Sam last time he was here, I'm more than happy if he wants to come talk to me. I can help him whenever he wants. I haven't actually heard anything, so I assumed he's good. He was the one who was here, right?
Because I don't know if this air conditioner qualifies for a grant. It's possible, possibly we can get some money from them, instead of having.
But you probably want to look at some alternative quotes too, based on the number you have in
Oh,
here.
this here is just a thrown out
Yeah.
number because
It's at least
I
double what it
have so
should
much
be.
stuff going on, I didn't have actual time to get somebody out there.
I'm going to say it's probably double what you need it to be, but
Well, if it is, we are willing to raise funds to make it happen. But this here is a seed to start. Because we don't know what we're going to come into.
Corey, did you suggest to her that she's probably looking at halving the amount of what she's claiming?
oh, you could easily do it for half of what the budgeted amount is, like,
Yeah.
without
Oh,
a
I thought you
question.
said double
I
it.
think she heard.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I heard it as double
No, I'm saying for
But
half of that amount.
It's
Okay,
going to
okay.
be that unit,
Uh-huh.
Corey.
Oh, I'm saying
I
replacing it
don't
from
know how-
scratch. I'm very familiar with the system, yeah.
Okay, if you are,
Yeah.
I don't know if this can be done, but is there any way of controlling that air conditioner besides off and on?
What do you mean? Yes, the thermostat turns it on or off.
That's all there is.
Yeah, that's all, I remember that
It is-
before that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by on or off. Like, yes, like when it's,
Temperature.
you set it to a temperature, and if it's higher than that temperature, the air conditioner runs.
Okay, now, that is only done with what thermostat? The one
Whichever
in
one
the
controls it. Yes.
That's what I'm thinking too. Okay, that's the one in
You
the
can
wall.
definitely get like remote sensors and do like an averaging.
Well, see, that's what I want,
That's a
something,
cheap option. That's easy.
that's something that I want to look into, is getting something that's more controllable. And
Yes,
also then it
the
would,
lobby thermostat controls it, which I get the door opens and closes it. But I mean, just relocating the thermostat, the easiest option, and probably that makes most sense.
well, the unit is fried.
Sure,
So,
but replacing it in its entirety is like I would be shocked if it came in at half of what you have budgeted.
well, I had two
Okay.
from,
I've done a few
Anyway.
quotes for these things, but
Well, the only thing was, is that you had to get a lift to lift that thing up on top.
So if,
That's what the issue is too.
is it possible that, would you be willing to talk to Marlene about that?
I can absolutely say it's standing offer. I offered to Grant or
Will
sorry
you,
to
will you, Sam, on the
Sam?
picture?
I'm more than happy to work with you guys on any of it. Just nobody ever wants to talk about it, so
Okay,
Okay,
I got you.
you do.
all right. Does anybody have any other questions in there for, anything in there? So I just, and I don't know if you can answer this, Marlene, but on the AGLC, that's your liquor,
AGLC is our gaming,
well, that's your gaming.
Alberta Gaming and Liquor.
That's like 50/50s and such.
Yeah, it's all the raffles and,
Okay,
Bingo.
it's got absolutely nothing to do with the liquor.
okay,
That's why I just get my license.
okay.
You guys do casinos too?
We, since I've been there, we've done one, and we're slotted for 26, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of thought that's what it was, but it was.
That's
Okay.
right.
That's like the one you guys did before at least was cameras or?
Well, that's the only place you can.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, it's like I know there's like weird jurisdiction issues
That's
that
the
they were
only
trying to
place you
explain.
can
Okay,
go.
yeah.
Cameras just went into receivership.
Yeah,
Well,
so I
they're
don't know
moving
how that
it.
works for 26, yeah.
Well, it is, but not in our lifetime.
Okay.
By the time they got it.
I have no idea how that all works. I just know there's like jurisdictional sort of weird issue there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going back to St. Albert maybe. I guess we'll have to see.
Anybody have any other questions for?
Nope. Again, we appreciate all your efforts.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic job again this year.
Thank you.
So if you want to come to Jimmy down here, it's still up to.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I can leave, right? All right.
We're good.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Wasn't too painful, was it?
Well, I didn't.
Say hi to Sam.
He's curling.
Thank you. All right, okay, next item be the Thorsby Municipal Library budget presentation. And step forward and go right ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, your worship and esteemed councilors. My name, and visitors. I'm not used to seeing so many visitors in the council meeting. This is fabulous. My name is Susan Parkinson, and I assumed the role of manager at the Thorsby Municipal Library on October 1st of this year. I'm going to begin by apologizing that the first time you meet me, other than board members, is I'm asking for money. Usually I like to come in and introduce myself beforehand. I'd like to also begin by expressing my gratitude to the council for its ongoing support of the library. In reviewing the finances, I was impressed to find that the library budget doesn't fully reflect the generous financial support provided by the council, and thank you for that commitment. The library board, as I understand, the budget challenges you face each year, and we appreciate your efforts to balance these priorities. I'm just going to start with what a library is. Simply put, a library is a collection of resources in various forms curated by information professionals. Our mission is to provide accessible resources, whether physical, digital, or intellectual, alongside targeted programs and services. We aim to educate, inform, and entertain, fostering individual learning and social growth. Sidney Sheldon said it best to me: libraries store the energy that fuels the imagination. They open up windows to the world and inspire us to explore, achieve, and contribute to improving our quality of life. So, library provides a number of accesses to people. We are democratic institutions serving people of all ages, income, levels, cultures, and physical abilities. And this is a 24/7 Wi-Fi access, even when the library is closed. The digital resources such as Overdrive and Hoopla, in addition to over 3 million books, DVDs, and other materials that are accessible on request. As a community hub, we connect people to information and each other. The library is a safe space for children and provides digital access for older adults. We also offer a things library, collecting items such like sewing machines and walking sticks. Our partnerships with local organizations further extend our impact. We are dedicated to fostering literacy in both children and adults, emphasizing skills essential to thriving in today's information-rich society. In your package, you'll find an overview of our 2023 annual report, which highlights the energy and engagement of the library. I've also included the return on investment figures provided by YRL, and I'm sure you've seen these documents. Looking forward, we aim to expand our programming. To achieve this, we need additional staffing, allowing for 2 staff members to be present during programs, one to manage the front desk and the other to lead activities. With a broader range of programs, we can attract a more diverse audience, and we plan to partner with local agencies and clubs to accomplish this. In reviewing the 2025 budget, you'll see our request for a slight increase. This funding will support staff hours, programming, training, and conference attendance, ensuring that our team stays up to date with advancements in the library field. In addition, storage is a growing challenge, and we hope to invest in a new cabinet to keep our supplies organized. And of course, rising price of books, DVDs, and other materials, especially large print books, necessitate budget increase to maintain current offerings. Large print materials are especially valuable for our aging population, and keeping them available is essential to our service. In closing, I just want to say thank you for your support and for recognizing the value of the library and community. I also want to express our appreciation for the consideration of air conditioning for 225, because I've heard all the stories how they can get at the library. So I thank you on behalf of the patrons and the staff. And thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself and discuss some of our upcoming plans. And on that note, I would like to send it over to Tabia, who is our treasurer. Thank you.
Hi. So I'm Tabia Benty, treasurer of the Thorsby Library Board. I want to express the board's sincere gratitude to the council for your ongoing support of our community library. As you review the financial report, you will notice that the overall figures are consistent with previous years. We are asking for a small budget increase for programs and staffing, as Susan previously mentioned. Do you have any questions?
I have a couple.
Okay.
So, I see the county, like you had budgeted, like 10,003, and you only received 1,200. Are you expecting more money from it?
Yeah, they do cost share
That
with
actually came in today.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
cost share with a bunch of libraries, but their total grant from the province is 86,000 for libraries that they should be allocating out, so.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it just, it just came in actually yesterday, but I haven't picked up the mail yet, so it just.
And do you recall what that number may be? Like from the province, they're receiving 86,000, but they're supposed, I mean, like you said, they cost share with us in Kalmar and Warburg and whatever, right? So I don't know how they're allocating it out, but.
When they divide it up, I know that the Liberty County does it by year. I mean, I can send you
Okay.
that
Yeah.
tomorrow if you want, because I could have the number wrong, because I actually got two of them.
Yeah, it stuck out for me when you looked at it.
Yeah, you know, that revenue just hasn't come in yet. Well, I found out tonight,
Yeah.
it's now in. Just not deposited yet, or reflected in the book.
Any other questions? Yeah, I guess another question I had is that when I look at your bank, your retained earnings, and you've got quite a bit of money in the bank. And what are your plans for any of that in there?
So what happened was our previous library manager was very hesitant to spend money.
Right.
So, well, yeah.
That's fine.
That is a question I am not prepared for.
I'm not sure why it's sitting like that either.
Yeah,
As I said, I've only been there since August.
Yeah.
Another week or so, and I just need some more time to study the books and stuff.
Well, okay. I'm not saying you have to spend all your money, but I mean, you know, we're looking at it here, giving you money, and you got a whole bunch of money in the bank, and it.
Yes, is it earmarked or, yeah?
Right.
Well, it says at the end it's a net loss, so.
so we will at the end of the year have a look. Yeah.
630470. Your worship, is that correct, CFO? Oh, I'm just asking, worship.
Sorry, what, Donna? Did you?
Go ahead.
Is that correct with your figures, Cindy, that retained earnings?
I can't hear you.
I'm not muted, you just need to speak up and bring it closer.
I can yell.
It is connected to this.
Okay, that's better.
Speak up, like, just be very.
Okay, I can speak up. Cindy, is that, through you, worship through to Cindy, is that in line with your oh my gosh.
Figures?
Figures, thank you, Councilor Shelley, of $62,304.70 that we're speaking of?
Well, at the end of 2025, she's projected a bank balance of 56,000. So that just seems like a lot of money in the bank just sitting there. So yeah, like I'm just curious as to what that's for, right? Like, what is it earmarked for?
Just a little more than half of that is our savings account. Which is our reserve, and we don't touch that. And no, we have not discussed what we are going to do with the surplus.
Okay. So then my next question would be, what is your reserve for? Because you don't own a building, you don't pay for repairs on the building, you don't so what is $25,000 in reserves for? What is it reserved for?
Well, that's something we haven't discussed since I've come on board, but that's definitely a discussion that I can have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, Gordon, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, I get we're not talking huge dollar values here, but I mean, we are talking a 22% increase, right? It's not a modest increase, it's 22%. So why are we justifying a 22% increase in the contribution from the town directly? Yeah, well, exactly. When there's, I mean, the financials look okay, everything's fine, and there's money in the reserve. So again, why 22% is not nothing, right? So.
Sorry, 22%?
22% increase for the, yes.
22%, sorry, it's 22,000.
No, it's $11,000 increase,
Okay.
so it's, yeah.
It's about $22,000 increase, okay, that's one.
Okay.
Okay, that is higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you say it's modest as in a dollar value, but percentage-wise, it's actually quite significant.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
And
I really totally appreciate you guys.
It was what we decided to ask for, right?
Yeah,
It's like-
and I have to say, I feel really bad because, I'm not really overly familiar with the budget yet.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't part of the budget processing.
Mhm.
And so I feel really ignorant right now, and I apologize for that. But I certainly appreciate the question, and right, 22%.
Well, you can always get back to us, I mean.
I will.
You know, see, Donna, you had a question?
Just a question, Your Worship, through the library. Do you have a reserve policy?
It's a good question.
No.
I
I
kind of figured so if you're
So-
trying to find the answer. So
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I will, definitely have that addressed.
You can get back to
I apologize for not having all the answers that you require.
Well, staffing changes and stuff, it happens. We do get it. We've been there.
Yeah.
You know, we have some time before we, you know, our first, budget deliberation is November 23rd.
November
November
23rd?
23rd?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you move it up or down a little bit, so I can just go back up and see what they're requesting?
Oh,
Is it 55?
60.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get some answers, and where do I go to?
Just, give it to,
CFO Cindy.
Okay. Anything else?
Anybody have anything else?
For now, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate you ladies coming, and, we will, get to the bottom of all this, and, we'll make some decisions on that stuff, so, thank you. All right, so, going forward then, can I get a motion to just accept,
Yeah, I move to accept both presentations for information and refer them to our budget meeting.
thank you, all in favor? That is carried. All right, new business, bylaw 2024-11, burning bylaw first look. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to have a look at that.
Not overly, no, I probably wanted
Yeah,
to
flip through it.
officially, but it was kind of a new one to me there.
Yeah, so this is brand new, Donna, right?
Your Worship, it is, and basically we realized that we don't need a fire services bylaw because we don't have a fire service. But we do have, in conjunction with our peace officer, we have some issues with respect to burning. And so we worked with the fire service, with our community peace officers, a little bit of legal, to create a burning bylaw. And it basically, it gives us the authority to define and enforce what constitutes a safe fire, fire pits, protecting neighborhood properties from hazards. And it grants authority to peace officers, including conservation, fish and wildlife, sheriff, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, thanks ladies,
Thank you.
and authorized officials such as fire services, in other words, the fire investigators, the fire marshal, to order the immediate extinguishment of unsafe fires, including our CPO. And it also ensures that we have round-the-clock protection from fire-related hazards with a swift response capability. It in no way stops people from using a fire burning pit, a fire pit, sitting around the fire at night. It's under control. They're having a few soda pops, or they're just talking or whatever. It doesn't preclude them from that, but there is certain things they have to have in this bylaw, like a water source and so forth, which is normal for any municipality. So we're just asking council to take a look at this first look of the bylaw, and we can certainly discuss any amendments at the regular at the end of the month, but we're pretty confident. We worked on it pretty hard and got a lot of really good input into it, and I can already see we have a couple of amendments we have to do already, but that's okay. That's what this is for. But it's a pretty straightforward bylaw. I can see already, just for council consideration, daytime. We can strike. We're going to have to strike that one, and that's section G, and we're going to have to strike section O. Those are just nebulous times.
Yeah, there's a few things in there for sure, yeah, and, you know, like I was just looking at some of the, restrictions on what you're burning there, wet or unseasoned wood. And I don't know what that,
It can be fairly arbitrary, yeah.
yeah.
It's somewhat subjective, yeah.
Go ahead.
I have numerous photos and videos that helped inspire that. If there are any questions,
Oh,
please
you're
come
the
to me
gentleman.
and I will
Oh,
show
okay.
you stuff.
Oh, I totally understand the need for the bylaw, just, yeah, we need to have a definition of what season
Yeah.
wood is then, because it needs to be clear for, you know, when the bylaw says it's wet wood and someone says, no, it's not, it's been drying for 3 years, and well, but, I don't know, what is the definition? How are we determining that, I guess?
Yeah.
And then the same thing, it's been an issue more than once, with fire bans and fire restrictions, defining who is doing, when the county says there's a fire ban, the town office says, well, the county says there's a fire ban, there's a fire ban, but we never actually say there's a fire ban. Are we issuing a fire ban or a fire restriction, or are we just following suit with the county? But either way, we should be defining that, because it's actually an issue sometimes.
Yeah, it is, and a lot of times we will follow the county if it's.
But is that actually our
But if we-
process, right? So-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of times what happens is we get the feedback, the county says no, so what are you guys doing and what are you up to? And I agree, sometimes our problem isn't that at all. It's not dry here, it's not an
Well, and
necessary.
sometimes it creates confusion, because somebody says, well, no, that's the county, we're not in the county, it's the
Yeah.
town. So is it we're listening to the county, and when they have a fire ban, we have a fire ban, or are we doing our own fire bans as needed, and just clarifying it either way?
I agree, and that's why this bylaw is in place too, so we can clarify ourselves. I agree, because before we're just following what they wanted, or what they were doing.
Which I say is fine, if that's in fact what we're actually doing, because it wasn't prior to this current administration, right? So before we'd issue fire bans as needed on our own volition,
Mhm.
so it creates confusion for residents, right?
I agree.
So, do you have some input to this you'd like to see?
Well, on the fire ban, the first call or police attendance to this particular fire-enjoying person was during the provincial-wide fire ban this spring. And I think, provincial total fire ban trumps municipal
Every time, yeah.
every time.
Sure, but just as far as our bylaw goes, right, I mean, if there's no point putting bylaws in place that are not enforceable and that are not clear is all, right? So just we want to make sure we get details correct is all, right? So, yeah.
Well, like you say, if you have some things you'd like to see in there, certainly provide it to our administration, because that's the whole purpose of this right now.
Yeah.
Before we pass it, then we'd have to change it after that, so.
Would you like a copy of it?
I've read it over.
Okay, from
a
the,
couple of times,
okay.
and it does seem to address a large majority of.
I got you. I'm very familiar with your situation, sir.
Yeah.
So good.
And again, I have numerous videos of that, not all of them made it to the video.
So as far as like like under fire nuisance and stuff, it's covered a lot where like fire's not producing offensive odors, and so I mean, it's kind of hidden in there in the subtext, but I mean, you do get some people in the rural community who, still just came from the farm and don't understand why they can't just have the old fire barrel out back, and maybe it should be clarified that fire pit for like a purpose of, having a campfire of wood or something is fine, but like explicitly going out of your way to state that trash shall not be burnt, because it does happen.
No question. Just looking here.
I mean, I guess it's hidden in there kind of in layers, but
Yeah.
it's not explicitly stated anywhere that I'm seeing.
Okay, no, so noted, sir. No
I
problem.
mean, it's a lot easier than, having to put it in a bag and roll it out to the street.
Well,
It's a really
and
position I get, but,
exactly, especially now that, we are accepting, clippings and stuff like that, so some of this stuff like leaves and stuff like that could certainly be easy put over there instead of burnt.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, like I say, just to explicitly state it, so there's not confusion, I guess, is my thought.
Yeah, okay. I'm liking the conversation. It's awesome.
It's always great when someone 3 blocks away is burning their garbage and just,
Yeah, our neighbor has a burned barrel in their backyard.
All right. We do have it under, your worship, to the Council Corey, under, here, sorry,
Okay,
part
good stuff.
3, fire on premises, so we, point 3, so be on page 16 at the bottom there. Restrictions applying, and it says, water, unseasoned wood, leaves, brush, or yard waste, garbage.
Oh, and then garbage is there, okay.
It
Like I say,
is.
just get it to you this afternoon, I hadn't read it
That's
before.
okay,
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay, well, that's something then.
Yeah. Pathological waste, meaning, medical waste.
Yep.
Combustible material, automobile bodies, and that's oil filters and all that sort of stuff. Household refuse, which is all your peelings from your potatoes and all that kind of stuff, and of course, biological waste, if you have some kind of unsupervised biological lab in your house.
A lot of backyard geneticists in town, is there?
I don't know, maybe a level 6, I don't know. So, no, very happy to hear your comment.
Your question?
Yeah, I know you guys mentioned wet or unseasoned wood earlier, but is that defined in the definition?
No, that was one of what we were saying, is I don't think it is defined, we need to define it, yeah.
We do. I would know that, thank you for that.
Thanks.
All right, any other discussion on the bylaw? Like you say, we'll be bringing it back for, you're gonna bring it back for the regular meeting?
Yes, Your Worship, we will, you bet.
Okay, yeah. All right. Second item, new business 5.2, Alberta municipalities, outstanding resolutions. So they had a list of like, 6 of them there. Basically, anybody have any comment on there, or Donna, you have any comment as what, we're just gonna let them proceed with them, I guess?
I think you can register to vote at the end of the month, right?
Yeah. Is it the,
Are we going through them one by one tonight?
we can do that if you like. That's what you wanna do.
Okay.
And then we'll just, is that what you wanna do, Donna? We'll just go through them and then, provide the input back to them and.
Or do we just want to do it on our own?
That's council's wish. We can go through it one by one and we can take notes, or you can provide me administration with notes and we can, put that in, or you can, do it yourself, like submit, yourself, do yourself.
Well, I think just submitting, everyone's opinion to you, if you can do like a compilation of, and just a lot of redundancy otherwise. And
Yeah, it'd be easier, to be quite honest with
I
you,
think
so
so.
it looks cohesive. We can do an overview of these, I certainly can.
Just go through them.
Yeah, if we look, Your Worship, at C3 fires on frozen lakes, that was moved by Town of Sylvan Lake and, of course, seconded by Summer Village at Jarvis Lake. That comes from ice fishing in a lot of cases, right? They want to warm up in the tent, and of course, you've got pollution on the lake, or people fall in, or vehicles fall in. But the problem is that, of course, the debris hit the frozen lake, which definitely can be a threat to the ecosystem. What they're really getting at here is a third whereas. The current regulatory framework lacks specific provisions to regulate fires directly within frozen lakes. So I'm not confident they want to ban them, but they want to.
I want to burn barrels or something.
Yeah, or
right,
some
right?
kind of frame, here, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, no matter what you do, the bottom gets hot. And it's gonna, the whole thing's gonna fall through the lake.
I think part of the issue is people bring pallets and just burn a whole pallet.
Yeah.
And then they leave all the
Nails
garbage
in it,
behind.
And then they leave it behind and the nails go to the bottom of the lake,
Yeah,
and that's a problem.
yeah,
Debris and garbage.
I think so,
I know what else was on the pallet and everything too.
yeah, all the
Resins and paint.
chemicals. So what they're after is to develop a regulation mandating fires be contained and removed when the user concludes their time on the lake. I think my opinion is if we're going to do that, there should be no fires on frozen lakes.
Yeah. And I see you want to reply, later than November 18th, so.
So what was their conclusion?
Their conclusion is they want a regulation mandating fires be contained and removed when the user concludes their time on the lake. Now, Alberta Municipalities comments, they don't have currently a position on this issue. If this resolution is passed, it would be forwarded to the Government of Alberta for response and for their advocacy.
But ultimately, this would be like a Department of Fish and Wildlife enforcement thing. This is not going to be like a CPO from a municipality dealing with it either way, so.
No.
I think what they're asking for is quite logical.
I agree, it's kind of out of, the municipal,
It's kind of like a lot of the laws
a little bit. Yeah, I'm fine with it other than, it's kind of not really relevant to our operations or business. And
Well, and it's where it's Alberta municipalities making a decision on these.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of these are pretty well straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we can just cut to the chase and just direct administration to provide the letter that's supporting these.
we can comment.
Supporting all of them?
No, not supporting them, but giving comment on all of them,
Yeah.
supporting them,
Yeah.
since their comments. Sure, Donna can synthesize them.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
I didn't see anything that sounded ridiculous, or it sounds all logical and that most of us would agree to
The playground.
these resolutions.
Yeah, sometimes you get some pretty outlandish ones. These are all pretty straightforward.
I'm just, if you don't mind indulging me a second, Your Worship, C7, the Alberta Learners License Program review.
Oh, that one
So-
was interesting.
Yeah, it talks about after 1 year with the Class 7 learners, the driver can complete a series of tests and upgrade to a Class 5 GDL. But the problem is
They
when we
don't
get
do-
rid of GDL.
Yeah, they don't do GDL anymore.
So they're asking,
They said 8 months instead of 12 months.
yeah, and then they're saying, this is an outstanding resolution. The problem is back to learner's licenses with the full drivers again at 16, because they didn't have time to enforce the GDL. That's probably part of it, working inside the ministry from before. So, they're talking about here, giving the Albertans the option to take a driver's training course. This is a weird one, I agree.
So
with
what,
you,
they're saying
Councillor
if you get your learners, after 1 year of having your learners,
Yeah.
you can go for your Class 5, which they can shorten from 1 year to 8 months if you take like an AMA.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're 15 and get a license.
yeah.
Terrifying.
Take
Yeah,
a
like I
driver's-
was terrified when Hunter turned 16.
I was terrified when Matthew was 17, so.
Yeah, that's what it is, you're shortening it, and I think everybody should have to take an AMA or something driving.
Well, their
What's your
insurance more or less
insurance?
mandates
Yeah.
that. I mean, you can't afford insurance otherwise.
Yeah, so,
I'd hate to be a kid 16 years old and getting your first car paying insurance nowadays. It's terrible. It's like through the roof.
Yep.
and the other thing is too, they're having a lot of problems with Class 7 drivers holding their learner's license for years and years and years, because they keep failing the road test.
Yeah.
It should be, no, if you fail the road test and you got a Class 7, you can't drive by yourself anyway, you have to rewrite your Class 7. I mean, I think there should be some more stringent stuff here.
Yeah, at a certain point, like, yeah, I can't just, like, yeah, where it's like, just keep writing like, every day of the
Yeah.
week for 6 months straight. Like, that seems pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was talking to a fellow yesterday who was on his 20th fail.
Yeah, I know a few.
I don't want those
like,
people
yeah, I definitely
driving.
know a few people who,
Yeah,
20 years old and had a learner since they were 15 or whatever, but
Yeah.
they wrote the test 3 dozen times. It, well, seriously, like, it wasn't that hard of a test. I don't remember it being that difficult. It's been a while, but still, like, come on.
Well, and I think after a while, it should be automatic driver's course.
Well, at a certain
You're
point, yeah,
failing
they've
it
got
that
to do
much.
something, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then the Animal Protection Act, that's a huge one. They have, and we may be, and ask council's indulgence, be a little more stringent with this one, but they only have 7 across the province, seven community peace officers,
Well,
7
there's a funding
SPC
issue,
officers.
like, they need to get more.
Yeah, and then the Alberta government cut the SPCA $2 million this year.
Well, then, yeah, how are they supposed to do more? I mean, that's just, they don't have this is not adequate at all.
They can't.
It's not even, like, it's not even plausible to think they're doing their job.
That's exactly right. And, so anyway, I will craft this one a little more stringent for your edification and or consternation like I have with this whole issue. So that's basically it. So I'll have that ready, for you in your package, before regular. Okay? Oh, go ahead, Deb.
Due by November 18th.
Oh, yeah, that's what it said.
Oh, this is by, okay, I will have it to you on an email before November 18th.
Okay.
Well, that's the 18th is what, that's,
A week.
Monday or something?
Yeah, next week.
Well, if we all just make sure we have our comments due by
Monday.
Thursday. And then that's,
Yep, I can work on this tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get it done tomorrow, send it out to you, and Thursday or Friday is good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. There's 24 hours in a day, I'm good.
No.
if you find a way to stretch it and get a couple more hours in there, let me know how.
Yeah.
Turn the clock back.
All right, do you want a motion to effect this?
Yeah, please, in the direction for administration, so please.
Okay, so can I get a motion? I guess we can do 5.1, just a motion to bring that back to the meeting on the 23rd. They want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? And then for the 5.2, to direct administration to prepare the email by Thursday.
Prepare the response, yeah.
Yeah, I'd move to provide direction to administration to prepare, draft responses to the, AB Community's outstanding resolutions.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, old business 6.1, bylaw 2024 rates, fees, and service second look, and I believe, Donna, you want to make a comment on that? You just made changes to the schedules, right?
We did, Your Worship, and I should have printed this off, but we did have a little bit of feedback from legal. I should have that printed off tonight, about being able to have something just change the schedules, and they're not in favor of that because legal is in favor of just having a bylaw to just change the schedule because I apologize, I'm not prepared for this, and I read it 3 times. Sean was really good with me. Can I reserve that, get that to you in an email? I apologize. I'll give you his opinion, but anyway, he wasn't in favor of severing the schedule because it messes with the bylaw. And so he said it's just easier to amend it very quickly.
To do the 3 readings every time,
Yeah, to amend it that way. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, being close. Yes, that's correct. So, we put in the RFD about the thoughts that were discussed, potential ties to development permits, deposits. We have historical evidence of permits needing no fewer than 7 days. And this came to the bin permits that we were chatting with, and Councillor Corey had some concerns about, we chatted about it as an administration, and we found that they were valid. Jesse and I had quite a bit of conversation about bin permits, and section, bin permits, what section is that in, Jeff? That's okay. Sign, subdivision. Missing it here.
Copies, dog control, void, landfill, the permits would be on 5 out of 12.
Yep, intersect permit. Okay, yes, bin permits. So what we did was, we cut down the fees quite a bit, and, for $150 for 5 days is totally reasonable. 30 days was a lot more, $300, and if they need extensions, it's $50 a day. Over 60 days, we'll authorize it differently when we see what they're doing. It could end up being a development permit or some sort of other permit style, but we did amend that section, based on our conversation, and, which was very great discussion. Discussions adding, the sections of bylaw, okay, we talked about that, and I will give that to you in an email tomorrow, the legal thing from our, it's nothing horrible. And then, repeals and amendments, we've removed the repeal bylaw brought forward October 22, 2024 as part of the process. Didn't receive any readings at the time, and we have relisted the proposed new fees and services bylaws 2024-08 accordingly. This will be the correct way to replace those bylaws. I had a conversation with Sean about that too. We're spending too much time and effort and paperwork repealing bylaws. It's ridiculous. And he said, it came out that that's the way you're supposed to do it, but he said, all you have to do is mark repeal, this bylaw comes into effect. He said the only time that he would recommend we do that is if we're consolidating a bylaw.
So like having it as a clause within the new bylaw instead of, like, we don't need to do the bylaw to repeal as a separate entity. That would be just so much easier.
Oh, wouldn't it though? Oh, yeah.
That's the way we used to do it, and it's just, I don't know, somewhere along the way that became a problem.
He said they did a really bad experiment.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, just go back to having that last line there of, okay, great, once it's in effect, the old ones repealed, that was just so much cleaner.
100%. And a lot less hassle for council. Absolutely. And a lot less hassle for us.
And you guys keep copies of that and keep track of all those and not,
Exactly. I probably shouldn't say us, I should say Jesse.
Well, I find that it just doubles the amount of bylaws.
Well, unnecessarily though, like, it's fairly redundant and.
Because we might be on bylaw 2024-14, but we don't actually have 14 bylaws. Half of them are repealed bylaws.
Literally half, or almost exactly half, or repeal the old ones so we can pass the new ones.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. So basically, it comes under repeal upon third and final reading. We'll probably, we'll put that under effective date. Sean said we can take away part 4, and we'll leave part 5 on the bylaw that says effective date. Number 1, this bylaw shall be repealed as of such and such a date. Part 2, under effective date, this bylaw shall come into force and have effect on such and such a date. That's all we have to do.
So you'll bring that back also on the 23rd, and we'll make the motion at that time.
That is correct, Your Worship. So that just saved us a ton of work, and we had quite a good conversation with legal, and they just indicated it was a really bad rumor mill.
Yeah, it blew my mind when we started doing that.
I know.
It's such a redundant purposeless exercise.
I've never seen that in my history of sitting in these chairs. I've never seen that, and it's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
you have
happy
to
to go
do
back
it.
to the old way, that's, yeah.
We're back to the old way.
I'm actually like very thrilled to hear that.
Some of that, I think, was part of the municipal advisors. When you phone, they went, oh, no, you have to do it this way. So we are back to normal, council. We are thrilled.
All right, so, I guess we got a motion to bring that back to the 23rd for...
23rd, but it's the 26th.
26, sorry.
26th, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. 23rd is our budget, yes.
Correct.
So I kept thinking, that doesn't seem right.
Okay, somebody want to make that?
I'll move to bring it back to that meeting, please. I will not be present.
I will not be
All in
present.
favor? That's carried. All right, council reports, 10.1, I'll start with mine there. So for the month of October, following activities, we had our town meeting on October the 8th, October the 22nd, we had a regular council meeting, the 26th, I attended the Oktoberfest hosted by the Thorsby and District Historical Society at the Community Center. I gave a little speech thanking all the volunteers and organizers and declared the festivities open. And the event was very well attended. They had about 217 people there. It was kind of double decked, and I actually was kind of taken back a little bit in that a lot of people in the community that I hadn't seen in years were there. A lot of, I shouldn't use the term old timers, but it was a very well seasoned crowd, and some of these people, myself included.
Yes, you're seasoned again now.
But it was very well attended, and it was a very good function. So, and that's all I have for the month of October. Any questions?
Are you done?
Cory, go ahead.
Then obviously the usual meetings and whatnot. There was just on the 7th, there was kind of a back-to-back meeting. There's the Yellowhead Regional Library meeting, which was kind of standard fare, and then they did it right after strategic planning meeting. So they're working on updating that, trying to see what makes sense moving forward. They're kind of at the end of that cycle, and there's obviously the new ED and everything that wasn't there when the last plan was wrote. So I don't know, nice to see what they come up with. That was kind of good. And then on the 9th, just following that, on the Wednesday, there was the ASHA Central Region meeting, or whatever you want to call it, that they have in Red Deer. So I tagged along with Margot and a couple of other staff and went to that on behalf of the Duke Regional Housing. Later in the month, we had the Leduc Regional Housing organizational meeting, and that all stayed pretty much exactly how it was supposed to be. So.
Questions? Any questions, Cory? No? Councilor Miller will have a report today. Councilor Musson.
All right, so October 1st, we had a library meeting. We have a new manager, Susan Parkinson, that you met tonight. Sue is the manager at the Kalmar Library, so hopefully it will be a smooth transition. The library chair and manager have been notified of a date for presenting the budget to council, which was tonight. The policies are close to complete with amendments. The book sale is scheduled for November 5th to 9th. We will investigate if the town CFO will oversee the library financials. In past years, this was the arrangement. It transitioned to a treasurer on the library board years ago. We don't have a candidate for the position at the moment, but as it came to our AGM, Tavia did step back up to be our treasurer. So that was great for her to do that. October 3rd, I was bingo paymaster. October 7th, I had community balloon meeting. October 12th and 13th, I assisted with the Lions with their Fright Fest. It was really well done and a lot of fun. October 16th, I did Commissioner of Oaths. October 24th, it was the Chamber of Commerce meeting, AGM. Board remains the same. No new members came to the meeting. Nobody has shown any interest in volunteering to put on Christmas in the village. It will not happen this year. The horse and wagon rides were booked but will be canceled. And the gala is on November 23rd. Tickets are $65 each. Reserve a table for 10 people for $650. The chamber will be honoring a couple of businesses at the gala. And Thorsby has seen an influx of visitors to see Thor. Hopefully, there will be a ripple effect towards businesses. That is my report.
I just wanted to clarify, I'm assuming it's like a wording thing, and not
Site
actually an
check?
issue? No, it just, which is like having the town CFO oversee library finances. Like, yes, the town had in the past offered to provide assistance, but like,
No,
the
they
Libraries
used to-
Act is an arm's length separate organization. It is not a branch of the town and is not directed or controlled by the town.
It was at one point when Tracy was on.
Yeah, years ago, the town did it.
Years and years ago, and we fixed that problem because there was a clear
I'm just saying.
misunderstanding.
Yeah,
Years ago, it did happen. We're having an issue getting somebody to take the treasurer position. As it turns out, Tabby has said she will
Yeah,
continue
the
with
town
it.
can't and shouldn't be and is legally not allowed to be kind of controlling the library finance.
So it's squashed.
Okay, great.
Your thoughts?
Just to add to that, Your Worship, we couldn't, even if we wanted to anyway, because our CFO is a designated accountant, so they're not allowed to. And we fund the library, the library, yeah.
Yeah, there's a weird conflict, and it's a separate organization, and then it creates a weird conflict. I guess, yeah, it really can't be.
Not being
Okay,
mean.
it was going to be a query, that's
Okay.
No, it's good.
where it was at.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Thank you. Councilor Ash.
I want just you to show me what I wrote, please. There we go.
Would you like that?
You said,
Oh, okay.
Thank you. My iPad's dead. Thank you. So as Tracy had stated, October 1st was the library board meeting. Our new manager, Susan, who's from Kalmar. The book club meeting was on the weekend, and we've been working on amendments for the last few months. October 8th was our cow, and then on October 22nd was our regular meeting, which I was unable to attend. So I did read the minutes, and I do still have to watch it because I couldn't get to it yet this weekend. That was October.
Any questions for Councilor Ash? No? And a motion to accept the council report for information?
I can make that motion.
You all in favor? That is carried. CA reports, CA Donna.
Thank you, Your Worship. So, projects planned and dispersed. So our water treatment plant, the decommissioned plant demolition is scheduled with Bowman, Bobcat and Hope. EDCO was stellar in the removal of the meter. When you commission a water treatment plant and you decommission another plant, that all should have been happening in a grant, the same grant as a water treatment plant, quite frankly. So the old water treatment plant said it was decommissioned, but it was not. The power was cut off, but the gas wasn't, and we didn't know that. So when
There's
that
delusion that they were going to use it for something, and they never, it's been a problem where I agree it should have been at the same time, but they were going to use it again.
for what?
I have no idea. It was full of water.
Exactly.
Well, it was flooded out.
Exactly. So when ATCO came to take the meter off, they said, oh, by the way, your line is live. What do you mean our gas line is live? Well, it was. It was never shut off.
I don't know, a few years ago, we were still paying a phone bill there.
Yes, we were.
so then you would have been paying a gas bill.
No gas bill we have been paying. No, it
It was
wasn't.
pinned out,
It was pinged out with the meter.
but yeah, they're still up to that pin. There was,
Exactly. So, of course, we're running over with heavy equipment, the whole bit, and didn't know it. It was a little disconcerting, I'll be honest with you. So,
I thought you knew that. I totally actually knew that. I assumed you knew. I could have told you that ahead of time.
no, but kudos to ATCO, because fortunately with the emergency management, I'm in touch with the head engineer for this area. And we put in a trouble report, of course, and I said, I don't expect anything, just keep an eye on it for us. And last Thursday, 3 ATCO fellas showed up and they decommissioned the line. And what they did was they shut it off, but they left it pinned inside our fence in case we ever want to run gas to the cold storage unit. It's good to go, it won't cost us much. So that was really, really good. We're really pleased with that, but I guess it's just a good lesson that when you commission a new building and you decommission the one that replaced it, everything has to be decommissioned and there has to be documentation to it. And so anyways, it's all done now, the power's off, the whole bit. The boulevard is coming, it'll be in stages, but is scheduled probably for the next week or so. So we're gonna start at the south end, and Mr. Bowman's gonna start at the south end for the boulevard. The trees are coming down, all the stuff inside it is coming out, and that will fill, once he starts in the water treatment plant, that will fill the reservoir, because you can fill the reservoir with stuff. We can do that, and we'll get new trees in the spring, but that is now coming. I'll put up communications once I know exactly when he's coming. We'll do it in sections, so we'll do from the south corner to bumper, and then we'll do the rest all the way to the front. We will keep all the cement fixtures inside there and so forth, because they're pretty expensive, and where the planters sit, that's not going to come out, but everything else will. Then we'll put the loam in it, leave it till spring, and seed it to grass. So, but I'll put out communication for that. I just don't exactly know what he's going to do, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, because somebody will not take it lightly. Furnaces are being installed today. They started today putting in the new furnaces for the town office here. It was interesting. They were quite busy all day in that small space, but that's okay. It wasn't too bad in here, so it's not too bad in here tonight. The one furnace is on this side just for this evening, so that's good. Should have that done in a couple more days. Bulk water station, the engineering is close to ready for tender branding to be tender branding we're working on. In other words, just a different logo for it, separating it as our water. Fencing issues are now portable, so that's good. We don't have to pay for fencing this year. We decided to move it portable so we could decide how the trucks are going to move around in there, and then we know. And the TELUS contract is signed for service to the treatment plant South Reservoir, so we can chat to the water treatment plant, and the water treatment plant can chat with the South Reservoir now. So that's really exciting. At least it is for me. I'm excited about this. So we were looking for a touchdown point of November 19th. It might be a little later. One of their main contractors had his truck and trailer stolen, all the tools, everything in it. So it might be delayed a bit, but that's okay. Planning for the emergency management exercise to liaise with ATCO. We've invited Fortis as well. And what this is it's to talk about recommissioning a municipality and what are the steps. And so what ATCO's asked Andrew and I to do is create a map with some places where Thorsby is all set up. It's not taken out. Other places where Thorsby's half out, and places where Thorsby's dark, so that we can get a really good commissioning and startup plan, along with our water treatment plant. All our infrastructure will be, for the purpose of this exercise, out. So Fortis and ATCO will take a look at what we propose with some steps, and then we'll look at, of course, still February, because we've got lots of planning to do, but they're pretty excited about that. Gravel arrived courtesy of the county to help fix that road by the fire hall. That was very nice, and I sent a nice letter to CEO Dwayne thanking him. Union negotiations have concluded, to which council will be notified in camera this evening of the discussion for ratification recommendations, and then ratification at the regular November. Elections Alberta already sending out bulletins and communications for the 2025 startup. One of the interesting things today too, just getting back to the Alberta Emergency Management Agency, they just sent me a big letter today saying everybody has to be trained now. Your financial person has to be trained in an ICS, your logistics, your coordinators, all that kind of stuff. There's about 7 positions at $500 apiece. I sent a note back to them saying, how do you expect small municipalities to pay for this when most of us have our ICS? But they've done that hybrid thing, and sadly today, that memo, and I will say to Open Council respectfully, that just told me this is a money grab. It's a lot of money, $4,500 for that, and we have to find a whole lot of people to train as well. And you have to be proctored. Somebody comes and sees if you know your stuff, and you have to pay for that proctor. Like it's starting to swirl. So I'll keep an eye on it.
The library can proctor.
No, it's emergency management capabilities. I would love if they could proctor a test, but this is emergency management capabilities.
Okay.
So AMA comes and sends a proctor that they have trained. Yeah, that they have trained and it's suitable to them and certified. to come to us. Otherwise, we can only stay in our own municipality, which makes no sense, but thank you for that suggestion. I'd take you up on it for sure, if it was that. So yeah, elections Alberta, so we gotta gear up for that, and Jesse and I'll be working on that. It'll be a smooth process. We hope, Jesse's in my planning, is we'll have all the orientation binders done by May, all the files done for, the positions done, so we're not scrambling at the end. Legal counsel will be here, the night of the, orientation to orient the new council, whoever it may be, in October of next, year, and we'll have all that ready to go. And,
When can people start applying, like
not
January?
till September.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to go through the, now why does that word escape me? There's,
Before September, it's,
well, you can start,
We can start.
gathering money in that, but you have to, it's September, there's a date, September, we
I thought
put
it
in
was
your
6
papers.
weeks before
I
the
thought it was
election.
since, I thought it was prior to September. Yeah, I agree, it's the 6-week window, but I thought it was,
They haven't quite
I
given
think
us a date yet, we're still
for
waiting.
some reason in my mind, it's been like, it was still in summer when.
Your nomination papers, that's the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for, has to be in by a certain date, and they usually give you one day from, in the morning, right?
Yeah, 'cause I feel like it had to be on that specific.
It does,
Mhm.
and you have to be in
There's a
before.
deadline.
Yeah, 1 minute after noon, so you better beat the siren, and we better make sure it's set right.
I don't know,
So-
it's 6 o'clock last I looked.
So we're resolving development permits, of course, and, just typical issues surrounding engineering plans for property are new to applicants, and we're educating them and helping them understand that there's such a thing as, engineering area structure plans, grading plans, and that sort of thing. Worked with our CPO with comments on the Leduc fire regarding the burning bylaw. Our IT provider, Fireside, to quote a better system in council to satisfy Bill 20, and we'll discuss this quote in the budget. It's not outlandish. And of course, wider client engagement sessions have been conducted. And I just threw some more pictures in here about our new hydrovac. We had to use it for the water main break on Main Street.
No, on the highway, they got
On
on
the highway,
yeah.
sorry, on the highway, sorry. I don't know why I keep saying Main Street, but anyways, on the highway, so it proved itself. And then we had to use it for a CC valve replacement here a little while ago. Unfortunately, we had the box and the rods and everything, but the guys had to construct a set of pickers because they lost the cotter pin for the box down the hole. So I went in the shop one day and they're welding a pair of pliers with two big 12-foot handles on either side so they could go down this hole and pick up this cotter pin, and they got it. Like, it was pretty
Could have
fun.
just loaned them a magnet.
Yeah, I was thinking magnet too.
That wouldn't be any fun. They wanted to weld.
I was thinking, what did a magnet work?
So we've had a chance to use this twice, and it is very, very,
Starting to pay
very.
for itself already.
It has paid for itself in spades. And that concludes CAO report, and if you wish me to go into the community peace officer report, sir, I can right after, but that will be your call.
Okay, any questions on the CAO part? No, yeah, then go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. So our CAO, our CPO, he offered to come tonight in his own time, but he's on vacation. I said it's probably a good thing you spent it with your wife tonight. He agreed. So he's been busy with resident concerns on bylaw issues, and of course it's common for calls to involve matters of all sorts of things, and we have a bit of a service level here at Thorsby that he's to spend as much time as he needs to on these calls, and as many times as he needs to. So a lot of times these calls are historical, a lot of times these calls are complex, and a lot of times these calls just need some time. So he's been busy educating residents on the distinction between civil disputes, bylaw violations, and so forth. He's achieving compliance with community bylaw violations. It's been pretty straightforward with most residents responding to a soft educational approach. There's certain residents that doesn't work, and that's normal. You're usually looking at roughly a 96% compliance in a muni, and the rest is a little more challenging, which is okay. And so we believe in positive relationships here until we don't. And that's the complainant's choice, if they want a really nice relationship or not. And there's no option. He uses a progressive, Dan and I talked about using a progressive ladder approach to gain compliance, and you start friendly, and it's determined by the violator, having how far up the ladder we go. So He's spent a full year already with the town, and together we've identified gaps and addressed some gaps in our bylaws. And the fire safety one was important, and so Dan's done a great job. So public engagement is, we're up 33% with that, year-to-date 65. We've issued, it's been up 200% for remedial orders, in other words, clean your property and do these kinds of things. That's year-to-date 55 of those. Traffic stops are 19. It all goes out on the cell phones as soon as he's running radar, LiDAR, everybody's telling everybody where he is, but that's to be noted. Traffic tickets issued are 4, so that's not necessarily a bad thing either. 32 warnings, 72 bylaw issues, 39 crosswalk issues. He's patrolled roughly a 70% increase in patrols. He's out of patrol quite a bit, talking to folks. Leads with the RCMP is 20, which is good. They're calling him now. And calls for service, year-to-date 117. So Thorsby is busy. Like you could tell by these, so far there's 586 bylaw and community peace officer interactions here. So we're quite pleased with that, actually. It's not a contest to see if we can beat that next year. We hope it goes down. But we also look at the public engagement, people looking after the remedial orders, and do we have calls for service. So very pleased with our peace officers.
All right, thank you. Any questions about the,
I had a question on your report, but I kind of
was
sure. Off on the planet when Daryl said that. Just a question. I thought with the boulevard, when we had discussed what we were going to fill it with, we had discussed we were going to do some sort of time or something? But what did we, now we decided grass?
It won't stand up to the salt.
So then the grass is going to have to be cut and weeded and all of that?
Just mowed,
or
that's it, just mowed. Yeah, we've got enough hand mowers.
It's got to get mowed already as is, because the weeds grow so quick.
Yeah.
We just can't mow the rocks, so, yeah, it was easy to mow. It would just be
Okay,
grass, that's it.
Okay,
So
sorry.
A little bit of weed wicking. No, that's good, that's a good question. I was hoping for time. but I ran out of time.
It's so pretty.
anything else?
No.
Okay, Public Works, I guess we'll forego that one. Yep. Parks and Rec, do you want to do that one as well?
I can, Kelly is off, she's on light duty. 111 active memberships and 13 of Arctic Spas. So we've had Halloween programs with pumpkin carving and origami, and they were drop-in great attendance. I don't understand origami. I would probably just take scissors and cut them all up, but a lot of kids love origami. November, December programs are already planned. There's a new fitness class on Tuesday evenings called High Fit. I've seen it advertised. It looks kind of cool. Yoga's also running on Wednesday, and they're being well attended. Kelly was at the ARPA conference, that's the recreational conference, and she's learned things about measuring impact. It's that new framework that demonstrates value of sport and recreation. So it's almost like an outcome measure for FCSS, but it's more like the value of the impact. Youth engagement, how to engage the teens in the community. So, and it's always good to discuss about success and failures in other communities. You've got to learn from it, and you just keep trying. Building community capacity. So it is targeted for rural communities, how to identify your why. So why do we want to build community capacity? Why are we doing that? Why are we wanting this importance? Why, and that's, okay, so that's something she's going to be working on this year. New lighting in the ice plant, in Olympia room. Contractors regarding the air conditioning quotes. ATCO Gas came out to service the natural gas fill station for the Olympia. And they recommend we switch to propane for operations. We had a minor glycol leak in the plant, nothing serious. Dehumidifier in the arena hasn't been operating, so a new humidifier has been ordered. New exterior lights targeting the pathway to the south parking lot have been installed, and Fortis came to fix the lighting in the north parking lot. And Apple Fitness, formerly Apple Fitness, for major equipment upgrades in the weight room. And this is the calendar is attached for your convenience for all the programming and everything that's going on.
Thank you. Questions on the rec report? Nope. One more FCS, we'll forget that one, I guess. Keep going a minute here, so we've got,
Yeah, see, I don't have a cold. Every time I sneeze, I have to cough.
So I see that, Michaela has, made a couple of calendars for November and December.
She has, she's, going by the small project volunteers, they're starting to like it. People are kind of interested, she's having good success with that, she's initiating that in Calmore too. It's like, here's what we got, here's what you can pop in on, and so on. So there's, lots of stuff in conjunction with the rec center as well, so, that's good. She's, starting to be very busy with Christmas elves, and I haven't had a chance to talk to her today, she was busy, but, I gotta find out if we've got the, pharmacy rented. If not, our backup plan is here, it is what it is.
Pharmacy, I thought we were doing that other building.
The other building was rented out, Grant rented it out, forgot to tell us. So, the pharmacy has all that space along that.
Yeah, but
one
that's what they
street.
use for, oh, we don't have Christmas in the village. Never
No.
mind.
So, we could use that, but she's having a hard time getting a hold of them. And they left a number, but not easily called back. Worst comes to worst, we'll do it out of the back here, we'll figure it out, and we'll get it done properly. So, that's what's happening.
I did mention before, I do have an empty building across the street.
You know what, you did, and I totally ignored that. Thank you for that.
People
Tough
kind
friend.
of ignore you, Cory. What's that about?
I can't even give away
Can't
space.
give it away.
I know, November, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care, whether you need it, then I don't care.
I'm gonna say we
could
need
probably
it.
work on something, like, I don't know, it's there.
We will work out something. I'll get a
This
hold of
one
you
over
tomorrow.
here?
Yeah.
GWI, right? Oh, the post office.
Oh, the post office, the bank
The
building,
old
yeah.
gun building?
Yeah.
We will work on something, Councillor Corey. We have just solved our dilemma. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You might wanna hurry on that.
Uh-oh.
We need it for November until December 19th.
I'm worried.
We'll
Now
figure
Cory's
it out.
like,
You're buying it. All right. Thank you.
Position date will be out, thank you.
All right. Anything else on the, city reports? Nothing?
No, sir.
Yes, thank you. Got a motion to accept the city reports for information.
I'll make that motion. Everybody wants to.
All in favor? Carried. All right. CFO reports, Cindy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So,
Okay, in the month of October, I worked on the budget again, handled resident inquiries. I met with the auditors for pre-audit testing. Everything was in order, and we booked February to begin the audit for 2024, which is like considerably sooner than they're normally here. I met with the ARO consultants regarding the next steps, and we spoke with the auditors as well about this, and they're okay if we do like just a review of the AROs every 3 to 5 years. So we've developed an ARO policy that we'll bring to council for discussion once we go through it in depth. And then when we have it ready for you guys, we'll bring it to you to approve. That just states how we go about doing all of the ARO documentation and review. And the auditors said that's all they require for this year's audit. So that's good. That saves us some money. I developed a personal days policy for discussion. I completed templates for community groups funding requests and sent them out. I attended union negotiations for the new collective agreement, finished bank account closures and transfers from savings, finished setting up the Royal Bank for online payments. So we are now accepting payments at the Royal Bank online. And just to let you guys know, they are the only bank that charges us to do this. Every other bank, we don't pay a cent, but the Royal Bank, we pay. Discussed meter installs with Public Works to find the best solutions to the quickest installs since we're running into just a bunch of unforeseen things. Attended the all staff meeting, had weekly staff meetings, did payroll and payables, and we had 0 shutoffs in the month of October. Outstanding utilities, $78,547.96, of which $5,631.49 is subject to shutoff. Outstanding taxes, $303,000, of which $59,000 is up for tax recovery and $56,000 is from 2023 tax notices. Our operating account is $1.1 million compared to $962,000 Last year, I did receive the Arctic Spas money. I received the CCBF funding for the bulk water station. So that's why that one went up so much from previous. Savings accounts, 1.17, that's down because I did transfer the excess reserves into the operating account. Not the excess reserves, but the excess money that was in the reserve accounts. That wasn't in reserves, if that makes sense. And the line of credit is at 0.
All right, thank you. Any questions about the CFO report? No? Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Motion to accept the CFO report for information.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, all in favor? And that is carried. So, going to correspondence. I believe we only have the correspondence for the 3920, and I'll give you a breakdown and I'll go through that for you.
I'll let you, Your Worship, thank you.
Okay, so they've appointed, there's nothing going on with it, but they, Kelmar and Warburg have appointed their representatives, I guess, if something comes up. So I don't, go ahead, Corey.
I think this is silly and arbitrary. It is shelved, it is defunct. We don't know if there is ever going to be a meeting again, and if there is, we don't know when it is. We don't know who's even available on that arbitrary day at some point that may never come in the future. When they tell us it's a meeting, we will decide who's available to go to it if it ever happens.
That's exactly right. So that's why we didn't put it in our system.
Well, yes, just have somebody setting aside that third Thursday of the month or whatever arbitrarily just in case. That seems crazy.
So I was surprised to see this, and I thought,
Yeah,
what a complete waste of time.
Yes, it didn't make sense to me either. So I'm going to say let's just move to accept that for information.
Thank you very much. All in favor? That is carried. But, yeah, I feel exactly the same, so. Okay. That can conclude what we have on our agenda, so we'll go into any public comments. If the public has anything to say?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I can get an update on the property that is right next to mine, that supposedly is abandoned, and the village is taking it back for tax. The fire issue isn't the only one problem we're having there. I don't know, Corey, if you know.
I'm not sure what property we're talking about yet.
Right next to mine, I'm on the corner on 4026 47th Street.
It's the one
The yellow
behind the camper that's being seized by the police last night. We had an event last night where a fifth wheel of unknown origins got wedged halfway in the trees, halfway on and off that property. The police ended up taking it away.
Oh, geez, I did not notice any of this.
Yeah.
Apparently.
About a half a block from your place.
Yeah.
Probably.
I must have been right asleep, holy.
10 a.m. until 10
The
p.m.
tow trucks and the RCMP left.
Oh, I must have been right out, I did not notice any of this at
Oh,
all.
well, I would, if I hadn't got a layoff a little while ago, I would have been asleep too, but.
I see.
That's crazy, okay. I
So
missed all the
there
excitement,
was
what the heck?
alleged stolen fifth wheel being brought onto that property, and the truck that was hauling it, when the RCMP came, the driver got out and ran, and what the RCMP told us is if you see that person coming back, call the RCMP right away, he's dangerous. So, we're getting a little miffed as to what's going on that property. And we're not the only two neighbors that are feeling it.
Wow.
What exactly is the address? Because we can't.
Oh,
You don't know?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm at 4826 47th Street. I'm right on the corner, and it's the
You're
one.
that little white house on the corner, kind of a white.
Well, white, gray.
Yeah,
He's right on the corner.
Yeah.
All we can confirm is if the property, if it's up for tax sale, only if the CFO has listed it, because we may not be able to. See, Cindy, I wish I had an address, but it's near your.
Well, it's gonna be the only one on 47th Street, I don't know.
You're muted, Cindy.
I just need, I need an address. Can we get back to them?
Okay, yeah.
On the map, it's 01174.
Oh, that's
Lot
the
number.
roll number.
Oh, there's another address?
The tax roll.
That's the roll number, yeah. Yeah, it's on our list for tax
Oh.
sale. So
Okay.
we're just
What does
working
it
with a
cost?
third party, so.
That incident just last night, but there's constant things going on there. And
People are
some of
just squatting in there?
Day and night. Guy's been living in a camper for 2 or 3 months
He's
now.
destroyed the inside of that house, he's destroying the outside property. I was hoping your peace officer, he's been kind of dealing with it too. But the RCMP are involved now, I'll be talking with them again tomorrow and finding out the status of that trailer. And I want to try and get some more information.
Is that like, that's like a yellowish house? Is that the one you're talking about?
Pardon me?
It's like that yellow house? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 'cause I don't even know who owns that, Jesus, I've never.
Well, suppose, from what I've been told, the original owner died.
Oh, okay.
And then they had made an attempt to get a hold of his brother, but
Yeah, he's been abandoned for,
the peace officer said he hadn't been able to, but the person that is squatting is claiming that, oh yeah, I've just taken
Okay.
care of it, I got a hold of it, but it's a nightmare.
Crazy.
You know, and like I said, we're not the only two neighbors, and I'm
it's
talking to
questionable
other
things.
neighbors that have kids
Yeah,
that are getting worried too.
I'm sure you have no shortage of people you can find, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention that, he's, probably not paying his, town utility bill, so he's stealing garbage services as well.
I don't know, it just,
That seems like the least of the concerns.
Yeah.
Wow.
it just, like, the sketchy stuff that happens just never seemed to end. And I just, okay, I'd like to find out if there's a time frame for the village taking the property over. Because I'm looking into third-party options as to helping out here, because.
You can give Donna your phone number then.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your phone number?
780 717
Let's do all that.
2855.
Yeah, not making excuses, but your worship, what's your first
Usually
name?
some,
Bruce.
People that have just taken over that property.
Part of the problem is, we've got a twofold problem going on with that property. A, it's criminal code offenses inside, so it now becomes RCMP, which you know.
And then the RCMP is saying, no, it's your guys.
Yeah, no, there's criminal code activities in there,
Yeah.
and I'll be speaking to the sergeant about
Okay.
that. And then the other issue is, it's not an excuse, we have to go through a process with tax sale. And it's not a happy process, and it's not a quick process, but, we'll get back to you and let you know if it for sure is up for tax sale. We use a third party, set of lawyers, they do this 100% all the time.
Yeah.
And, they'll make sure no stones unturned.
Just to let you know, because if you guys are taking it over, it's a very vastly diminishing asset, because he's destroyed the inside of that house.
Yeah.
Like,
Anytime the
badly.
town takes anything back on a tax sale, it's a zero value asset or somebody.
You would, but it's like I was hoping some young family would maybe, get a deal and get in there, but it's a tear down now.
Yeah.
It's disgusting inside.
The front door used to be swinging in the breeze for the longest time, it wouldn't feel good back then, and that was a long time ago.
He's got it, he's got every single window that you can see in covered now, which is one, if you go onto SCAN's website, that's one of the things they talk about properties that are being used for illegal activity. Yeah.
Like I noticed, I don't know, a year or so ago that someone had actually secured the front door shut, but it used to just be wide open.
Well, the joy,
It changes every day, let's put it that way.
the joy of working with SCAN is, that, they don't have enough sheriffs attached
Yeah.
to it.
The reason why I brought that up, I saw the thing about Beaumont today, and it just, I'm like, okay.
Thanks for coming in and telling us.
Well, like we're frustrated, Like, we just want quiet neighbors. Like, I come home from work, I don't look at to cause anyone any trouble, but holy cow.
I'm sure that Donna will,
We'll
talk to
get
the.
back to you, Bruce,
Okay,
sir.
I thank you.
Want to, let you know, sir?
I will be,
You'll be talking to Bruce?
Yeah.
That's good, that's good.
I will be, it's Constable Dino is handling the file from last night,
Yeah.
and I can give you a file number if you want.
No, I can just talk to Dino.
Okay,
Not a problem.
and I'll be talking to him tomorrow, and
Appreciate it, you're concerned, I'd be concerned too, so.
Extremely complex and extremely frustrating.
And the person that is perpetrating this knows that and is taking advantage of that.
Oh, they're good at it.
Yeah.
They're good at it. I know.
Others be squatting.
Much appreciate you bringing it and talk. I was aware of it, but, thank you so much.
It's been crazy. Like, I've lived there for a year.
He's got security cameras on his thing, and I'm thinking of getting them
But
on.
security cameras, I've had some petty thefts, and even before I moved in, they stole the light off the front of my house.
The light?
The light.
The security light.
And I know that because I got an apology note and assurance that it would never happen again. He's gone and he'll never come back, and that was a year ago. But,
We'll keep working with you.
I wish I kept that note. I really do.
Well, thank you, guys.
Okay,
Anything
well,
else?
no, that's it, just, like I say, we're not the only ones.
Yeah, no,
And, like, I'm the guy that goes out when there's a four-way stop there, and when kids are racing up and down, I'm the guy that goes out and slow down, because there's 4 or 5 young kids live right across the street this way, and there's 2 or 3 young kids that live over here.
One's with a gray Mustang, we know.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. I've actually seen that on Facebook, and I've seen him go by once, but it was a couple days after I saw that post, so. But no, most of the kids in the neighborhood now are pretty good at the four-way stop, because I'm the grumpier
There's
guy
still a
that
few,
goes
yeah.
up.
I literally camped out on the street corner just yelling at cars like an angry old guy, but yeah. Yeah, those four-way stops don't register with a few of them.
Hold up your hairdryer as radar.
I now know you're rocking chair and upset.
That the fire bylaw be named after this individual. I think, everyone should know who spoiled their fun.
I got it.
Takes one.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, guys. Oh, and now I know why I don't want to be a politician. I couldn't
Come on.
do all this horrible stuff all night long. See you later.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anybody else have anything, Irene?
No, I forgot what it was, so I'll leave it till next week.
All right.
I have a couple of queries.
Sure.
I believe it was the second meeting in October. Can't remember who it was. Somebody went to a big meeting and not all the resolutions were gone through.
Yeah, that was us at the end of September. And those are the ones we were just discussing today.
Okay. So whatever came of that, we guys are gonna
That's what
do
you're
it.
talking about today, they sent out a package with like the outstanding resolutions, and then we're providing feedback on our vote, or our opinion on those outstanding resolutions. That's one of the things we just discussed earlier.
So our feedback is due back by November 18th.
Okay.
And
So
then-
they are wanting your feedback.
Yes.
Yep.
I think part of my query was whatever wasn't done, do they just get a?
Yeah, whether they were just taking in, having
And just doing whatever, yeah.
No, they did send out a thing, and yeah, that's part of what we were talking about earlier there.
So if you want
Jonathan,
to
do it.
go home tonight and look at the agenda that was presented tonight, if you missed it, you can go one by one over each resolution and see what they were talking about, suggesting these new resolutions. And if you want to have any feedback.
Like the fire on lakes, like having a fire on ice, like that discussion, that was one of those resolutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second, so I know, Donna, you're looking at tearing out the boulevard and stuff. I'm just curious what you're doing with that rock, 3/4 line, because I have a suggestion for it. If you're just gonna take it out, obviously you're gonna stockpile it somewhere.
We're going to throw it in as fill in the old water treatment reservoir. What would you like?
Could some of that be laid in front of where you guys are putting the leaves and the debris and stuff? Because that's a muck hole in front of it.
Oh, we have gravel now for that.
Oh, okay.
We've got gravel, it's a great suggestion. We've got 3/4 crush, we're gonna put in front of that, you're right, it is a mud hole.
Yeah.
No, everything that, Alec pulls out of there is going for fill.
Okay.
That's a great suggestion.
But maybe a layer of a bigger rock might be a good filter.
The only problem is you have to, then we gotta haul it over to, no, let me rephrase what I'm saying. There's more dirt in it than rock in a lot of cases, that's what I worry about. So,
And it's a little big for people to be driving on.
Yeah, it's a little big, so, no, we've got lots of crush, we've had 3 loads of gravel come in.
So, yeah, we got that through the county, like, they got us their deal on gravel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll gravel that a little bit.
Well, I just hate going home and getting shit for stuff all over my boots after I've taken out the leaves
Yeah.
and done the, I hate to do this.
I was just there on Sunday, and I was just gonna talk to her about the same thing.
Come on.
Now that we got the gravel, we're gonna put it in there.
I'll be out there with a shovel and a 5-gallon bucket just to please.
You're gonna need a bigger than a 5-gallon bucket if you're going in front of the fire hall there.
That's true.
5-gallon bucket, you won't even notice in most of those holes.
And gravel seems to disappear, that's why I just suggested that maybe. If
Were some of the
salvaged as
streets
a
being
layer.
graded, or not graded, with the big front end loader today, were they being leveled? Because I looked out the front of my place and I see.
Yeah, they went, I saw on my place, for both sides of my place.
I'll be dumping stuff in holes, I think. I don't know, I was locked in my office doing council's bidding all day.
Yeah, oh, they were always, they were always front end loader, and they left it out there, and they let it
Probably filling
fill in
holes.
some of the holes, yeah.
Yeah.
And in regards to, this budget meeting, is this open to public or?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Any meeting we
It's
have, it's
Saturday,
always open to the
The
public.
23rd, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock on the 23rd.
Yeah.
And are we permitted to?
Bring lunch.
No problem.
Not
I'll bring you some
not
beer,
necessarily,
but-
but probably. It's technically a council meeting, so not necessarily, but I'm sure if you have a comment, I don't think Daryl's gonna cut you off.
That's great.
I was just wondering, because I've been to a bunch since I've been here, and you guys have, like a set way of doing stuff, but I see a few changes here and there and stuff like that, like when you're talking about stuff, and I know you can't change it just for one person, but like, there's a couple of questions that I wanted to ask, but now I've forgotten, because you've gone through it, so.
The biggest part, we used to have, it be
But you do
restricted to the
think
point
a
that
little-
people
you do
couldn't
think a little
come.
different here than from what.
Yeah, it used to be very restrictive, and like, they, like, a few councils back there, they weren't letting like anyone comment on anything at any point, and that was very, very restrictive, and obviously not ideal. But then, when we were so when we would allow people to just kind of interject in the meeting as we went,
Right.
it became really weird and problematic and drawn right out, and it was just, you'd be looking at like literally 2 a.m. council meetings every time, so we had to kind of limit it just for the sake of practicality.
No, I get it, I guess it's.
Like literal, like a lot of 2 a.m. council meetings in a row, and eventually we said that can't keep happening, so.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my name's Birgit Friedstadt, and I'm kind of a newish 3 years kind of citizen of Thorsby. And we bought 54th Street, which is near the creek.
Mhm.
That's the old pavement that's crumbling, and I totally understand that our tax base doesn't let us repave roads too easily. But every time that the public works fill our potholes in the gravel, in the pavement, it doesn't take very long and the gravel goes poof, gone. So, I don't know, maybe that bigger rock, or, I don't know, just.
We will be addressing that in our budget here, and
Okay.
we've
It's
got
not a
quite a
small
few
dollar
discussions.
value,
Is there hope on the horizon?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a small dollar value, but it's often discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Donna, you wanna make?
Yeah, I can update, our engineers are coming out tomorrow, we're gonna spend some time looking at it. We're probably gonna have to take the pavement off and go back to gravel.
I was just gonna say, I think that'd be much.
But that's the whole
easier.
process too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The other thing that we can do is do a local road improvement levy. Where, yeah, I know, it's not cheap, and that levy stays with your house until it's paid, right? And I'm always loath to do those things. I mean, I have the authority to do it, and I said to a few of the residents, you can issue a petition, but as soon as I receive a petition and verify it, that triggers me to put a local improvement levy in.
Yeah.
So it's, I very much feel bad for that road. It has no base anymore. It has nothing.
Well, not anymore, it never did. They paved it when they shouldn't have paved
When
it,
they
because it
should.
wasn't a proper base before they ever paved it.
I totally agree with you. So engineers are coming out tomorrow to see what we can do, but our head engineer is thinking we may have to go back to gravel.
Yeah, no, I think that would be much better.
Yeah, we just have to assess the catch basins and all that kind of stuff, right? So, I feel your pain, I really do. I drive on it once a week, so I know.
Do you?
Yeah, I know, I go around the town.
Oh,
Absolutely.
bless you.
I know.
You've seen my real fence.
Yes, I have. We're gonna have to talk about that.
Okay.
So I drive every street, every back alley, I know, so I know what's going on, and, we will hopefully, we'll figure out something tomorrow, hopefully. If they want us to take it back to gravel, that's a cost, because they strip all the pavement off it, and I don't know what, Jared's gonna suggest, Jared and me, we're gonna suggest tomorrow, but we'll keep you posted. If you see us out there in the road and wanna come out and say hi, that's fine,
Will do.
it's all good.
Thank you.
Is Department of Highways gonna be repaving that water break plant?
Nope, that's our problem, we have to leave it all winter,
Or
so
else?
it settles.
I
Yeah,
thought that was Department of Highways.
nope, not
We
anymore.
dug up the asphalt though,
Yeah.
right, so when we dig it up, we have to put it back to the state it was in.
There's permacrete in there, that's why it was a more extensive break, because they want permacrete. And, so we gotta let it settle. So it's gonna be bumpity.
I know in the past,
Well, I'm not concerned about it, I like it because it slows everybody down.
the past couple years when we had talked to Department of Highways about the condition of that stretch of road, their take on it was, as soon as we replace every bit of infrastructure underneath it, then they will start looking at their budget. But until we've done all of that infrastructure, they're not paving anything.
And what's the problem with that night, just to let you know, is there's no valves on that street. We had to shut the main water treatment plant down to shut off the water on that break. There's no valves up there that we can isolate the water. Now, fortunately, our self-res was pumping all night, and might have had a little smaller volume, but it was pumping and distributing, which is good. But when you gotta shut off the main water treatment plant to shut off a water break along that road, from the railroad tracks this way, there's no valve.
But you only shut down basically 6 properties
Yeah,
from that key, so
Yeah.
that was a good thing for you guys, right?
yeah,
Less bitching and complaining.
yeah.
Where's my water?
True, people are pretty good, you know, if we're going longer than a certain allocated time, we just start knocking on doors and saying, we'll turn it on for half an hour, fill your tubs, to do what you need to do. If it goes on longer, going on for days, you get potable water in and you know, it's just distributed, so. But it was annoying because we had to shut down the big water treatment plant.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a procedure for them to start back up. I don't know if you know what's involved there, but it's gotta take more than a minute.
That's correct.
More than a minute.
It takes Dave just about a day and a half
Yeah,
to get it rolling.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and Dave was on site too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was an interesting break because it had already been fixed once. So when we were down, I was there on station all night, it was fixed quite a long time ago, and then it broke ahead of the fix.
Okay.
So we put it.
Like not right at the repair, but just, you know.
Ahead of it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we.
Well, that is often the problem, right? You start replacing it 6 inches at a time.
Exactly right, because it pressures up. Fortunately, we had a pipe down at, cold storage. We had water pipe that same diameter. So the guys were able to put it down there and fix it. But, yeah, they were down 12 feet and, got it fixed in actually a pretty good standard time. We were off station by midnight. So,
I know, I was watching.
I know, I figured you'd.
You have a very good crew, like
Yep.
whoever you guys are subbing out to right now, a very good crew.
They're prime contractors. They're CB Max out of, Stony. And they're all level 3, level 4 water wastewater operators. And they have their own company and we just call them and they're there. They were there from time of call or shoot time is about 2 hours by the time they shoot up and load up. Yeah, so good batch.
Like I've supervised a lot of crews and like noise level, there was nothing, like normal,
No.
to a normal bunch of guys, so.
That's pretty standard. Let's work on the mayor's themselves and we make noise.
Yeah, they go their way, I think they pay extra to do that, yeah.
I did give them pizza.
We did get pizza there, good bunch of guys, and we know that they're repaired.
And I don't have any pavement from my place, so it's a lot easier for them to take.
No, I'd just like to send out a kudos to them, because like, I mean, professional, language-wise, like everything, like there was no BS there.
No.
They were in there to do a job, and
They do it, and it's the owners of the company that are in there, either one or both are there. And they don't just watch your language because I'm standing around there, that's just who they are. And that's why we have this.
well, you were in the truck sleeping on the other side.
Yeah, I had the lights on so they could see the cut. Yes, I was hanging out. Exactly. Fielding calls actually from the school board that night. I think every school principal, superintendent, board president must have phoned me that night. What's happening? What's going to happen? We have school tomorrow. You got to wait till 8 o'clock. Well, you phone me. No, you phone me. All those kinds of things. That's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, we used to have no school for 3 or 4 days in a row when there's a water break.
Really?
I was going to school.
Where I went to school, we didn't use water. Didn't have to worry.
How old are those two schools?
Pardon me?
How old are those two schools roughly?
Well, the elementary school and is new. It's probably, I'm going to say about 1980 in the 80s.
The new school? That was my kids, when they first started going. The elementary, yeah. How old were my kids in grade 1?
12 years maybe is the.
The high school's been there for.
It's brand new.
Yeah, yeah, because my kids started there Michael started there at 3 years old, and I think it was, so he's 15. So yeah, I'd say 16, 17 years.
And the roads were all redone, were they done once or were they done twice?
Single. They made a mistake. They built the road higher than the parking lot, so it floods.
I noticed.
And we say new, and it's been 15 years.
Yeah, that's another pet peeve on that. That's okay.
It's all relative.
I guess so, right?
Yeah, so about 15, 14 years old for sure. Yeah.
The high school is of an age.
Yeah, it's all like Einstein, time is relative.
Yeah.
Thorsby. Anything else? No.
Okay, I can call for a 10-minute recess at 8:41 and then we'll come back and we'll count.
All right.
I don't know where my phone is.
Probably 2011, Jesse. If you scroll it up again.
13 years. Well, they said the water treatment plant.
Well, it says three things, the trio.
Yeah, it would be the treatment plant in 11.
2011.
In 11.
I'll go for a cigarette.
So 13 years.
Yeah, 13.
Maybe older than that.